something beautiful is on its way to you. This is the experience of a lifetime, my dear friend. You want to give yourself this at all costs to your ego, your pride, and your fears. Love, it's everywhere. It's beautiful. It lives within. It doesn't need to be created. It is already there for you. We've hiked down 3 canyons, and here we are. Let's shoot it, baby. I feel the funky chicken, the funky Messiah. Yes! Search for yourself on your own. Go within yourself. Find it within your breath, within your very spirit. Mrs. Nixon is done. Now I want to do a little magic trick. A spiritual path brings us to a place in our life where we discover the diamond and we learn how to pull it out of the mud. It's all very interesting. Welcome to Aspire and our series on We Know Not What We Do. Today we're going to look at emotion, passion, and the difference between emotion and passion and the depth of the feel of our life. Much of our life is estranged from our own life. We live as though we don't have any life inside of us. We live for gratification. We live for the idea of passion in our gratification. We're always looking for some payoff for everything we do, whether it's giving, loving, sharing ourselves, whatever. It's always with the idea of, I give this to you, or if I do this for you, you're going to give back to me, or something's going to happen for me that I like. And this gratification is a deep form of personal violence. It's a vicious circle because it creates drama in our life. And the more drama we have in our life, the more the gratification plays out in our life. It is very difficult for human beings in general to understand why they can't understand love. People think they understand love based on the gratification mode. But I'm saying to you that love is not gratifying. It has nothing to do with gratification. It has to do with silence and my relationship to it. I'd like to ask you, what makes you think at this moment you're alive? Now, you think that's a ludicrous comment because you're sitting there watching me, your senses are judging, your mind is analyzing. You think, well, I'm alive, I can sit here, I can listen to you, I can pinch my skin, I'm alive. Are you really? How you and I choose to define life is a very important thing. Most of us define life as a biological, mental, and emotional experience. What if I were to say to you, that's the human aspect? That there's another aspect of you, a very loving aspect of you, that is waiting for you to recognize it. A spiritual practice is not about one more philosophy, one more religious idea. Jesus is not teaching religion nor philosophy. Buddha is not teaching religion or philosophy. Lao Tzu is not teaching religion or philosophy. They are teaching the way to life. They are trying to show us, like fingers pointing to the moon, what the experience of life is. And if you listen to their teachings, you will understand that there is one thing that is more important than anything else, and that is humility. The truest, wisest person is the one who walks with his head bowed in humility. And that is the antidote for misunderstanding my dummied down attitude about my life and how I miss the meaning of my life. We have been dummied down by our emotions and our passions. Emotions are about many different things. Passion is about those emotions. And all of that, if you look at the core of your emotions right now as you're sitting there listening to me, you will see all emotion is based around one thing, the avoidance of pain. Some unresolved avoidance of a pain inside you you can't even recognize anymore. This pain was done to you by how you look at yourself, how you came to conclusions about who and what you are. How did you come to the final verdict of your own life? It's an interesting idea, isn't it? I mean, how do you know you're you? How do you know you're alive? How do you know you're you? How do you know you're not someone else? How do you know this isn't all a big dream and you're just dreaming it? It's an interesting insight if you begin to look at it from the perspective of your heart. We came to a certain philosophical and emotional conclusion about ourselves. And how we got philosophical is that we got emotional. And the more emotional we got about ourselves, the more philosophical. We make up stories about philosophy, religion, politics. We build fantasies about ourselves based on how to avoid the emotional pain in my life. So what I do is I imagine that I'm a loser, or I imagine I'm a success, a winner. I imagine that I'm loved, or I imagine I'm not loved. I make up all these stories so I can sustain the passion and the desire to maintain emotional impact upon my life. And your emotional impact upon your own life is your greatest enemy. My emotions tell me so many things about who and what I am if I listen to them, what my limitations are, what my capacities are. It's all emotional. Your mind says this is what you can do, so you get all emotional about it. This is what you'll never have in your life. How sad. And then you get all emotional about it. It's all about pain. And if I live in a certain level of pain and I never resolve it, what I'm stuck with is the passion of the emotions that define who I am. Do you like being defined? A lot of people do. Well, I'm a this'a and I'm a that'a. I'm not a this'a or that'a either. I'm a Christian, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm not this, I'm not that. We like those definitions because it makes us think that we're a part of something. And as long as I think I'm a part of something that defines me, I live as though I know not what I do. What's always been interesting to me is how nasty and mean-spirited we can be. It's like we prepare our whole life to be nasty and rude to each other, but mainly towards ourselves. It doesn't take much to get you to feel angry and hostile about any given subject in your life. Somebody crosses your path wrong, somebody pulls in front of you, steals a parking place. It's so easy to get gnarly and nasty, mean-spirited. Did you ever wonder why? Well, we know not what we do. This is a form of my personal violence. I may not get out of the car and go yell at some guy that stole my parking place, but that doesn't mean I don't feel like it on the inside. And what is going on inside of me when that's happening? Why am I so mean-spirited? Well, the mind goes, well, you have the right to be. Entitlement, rightness, these are two things that feed my emotional immaturity to such a degree that I cannot relate to my spirit. Look, if I'm going to get to you, if I want you to do something, I'm going to appeal to your emotionalism. When people want you to give money for whatever cause, they tell you how bad things are, how lucky you are not to be like them, and the best way to stay away from that in your life is to give to that cause and feel bad for it. That's the way people do it. Milk money out of you that way. Milk sympathy out of you. The whole idea of life for a lot of people is just to stay emotionally connected to their daily living. And to do that, I have to be very mean-spirited. I have to come to some place inside of me where I'm angry and hostile, because that's what emotions live off of. Your passion is not about love. I've had a lot of students come in and out, though. Ones that really persevere past their emotions and passions are the ones that make real headway in their life. They have a relationship with their breath. They have a relationship with their heart. When you and I have a relationship with our breath, that is when we have a relationship with the heart of hearts in us. But I find most people are skeptical, too selfish, too self-absorbed, too fearful to do that, because to come to a place where I will watch my breath and have a relationship with it means I have to come to a place of sacrifice. I'm going to have to sacrifice passion and emotion. Most people won't do that. Let's face it, if I said to you, give up your passion and your emotions for just watching your breath, maybe learning how to feel mercy on the inside of yourself, for the sake of your own relationship with love and life, would you do it? For a while, maybe, a moment here, a moment there. But the moment someone irked you, made you unhappy, or pleased you and pleasured you, what would you do? We go to our emotions. You're going to feel them. They're automatic now. And they come and they come and they come and they come. And we feel obligated to our emotions and our passions. We never consider the idea that, wait a minute, nothing's barring me from living outside that small box. It is my emotions and my passions that make me very mean-spirited in the inside of myself. And when I get mean-spirited, it means I can't forgive. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. If you really understand that, you understand that forgiveness is a lifestyle. It is a way in which you connect to the merciful aspect of yourself, not holding yourself or anyone else to the limitations of your mean-spirited, passionate emotions that are bent on hurt, not healing. That's a very hard thing for most people to understand. In fact, they're not even interested in it. Young people, middle-aged people, they're too busy filling their life with all the passion they can to convince themselves that they're okay. No matter how much passion and emotion you have, it always runs dry. Do you ever notice that? You come to some place inside of you where you just don't have any more passion and emotion, and you need someone to stick the gasoline tank into you and fill you up, telling you, oh, you're wonderful. Oh, you're just the best thing on the planet. What would we do without you? You're special, all that. We need to have that all the time. Because if we don't, how will we deal with the truth that we are hooked on emotion and very mean-spirited if we don't get what we want or believe we're being treated the way we should? The most important thing that you will ever learn in this life, the most important, is how to follow your breath compassionately without the need for hate and fear to be there as your identity. This is really important, and it takes practice. And most people don't practice because they're afraid that if they do, they'll lose their identity as themselves.
Greg is able to enable us to find within ourselves places that we have never been before. We find new mystery within ourselves. We find new adventure in ourselves that is very much facilitated by Greg.
Sometimes we go through some difficult fires inside of ourselves. We have to pass through the fires of some of the thoughts and ideas and illusions, and especially the hopes that we've had. There is nothing worse than a hopey meditator. People who are hopies are people who hope that meditation is going to make their outer life better, and they actually think that happiness is based on their outer world. What could be more selfish? What could be more ugly? No. But you will feel a sense of blissfulness if you persevere beyond your hopeism, beyond your desires, your ambition, your pride, your selfish need for gain, and your pain. If you can get beyond those things, you're going to find a blissfulness. And what is bliss? It is beyond happy. It is about not needing a reason to feel good inside. You will feel a sense of well-being because you're in harmony with life. Immature people need to feel happy all the time. A real person feels what they feel and follows it until they understand the origins of it, the source of it, and that is where the real joy is. Go for the joy of your life, not the gratification, nor the happiness. If you begin to look at the saddest aspect of what I've presented to you on this program, it really is that our lives are no more involved in our skepticism due to our emotions. Most people are caught in the emotional trap of thinking that their lives are the way they appear to be based on emotional assumption. What I'd like you to consider inside yourself is the fact that there is something other than your emotions. It's called intuition. What does it mean to be in our intuition? It means that I start to build a relationship, as I say to you over and over and over again. The only antidote for my dummied down attitude, for my anger, my fear, my hate, is my relationship to silence. When I get beyond that little hurdle, that's when I come into the meaning of my life. My relationship with silence is the most important thing in life. You can study quantum theory, you can study mind, body, you can be a physicist, doesn't really matter. What you will come to is one thing, no matter what it is you think you know, and that is silence. You can't study truth. Truth can't be taught. It has to be caught from within oneself. You have to feel the pull. You have to want to be susceptible to it. It is not something you can think about. I can't say, okay, I want you to think this and not that and go over here and don't go over there. No, that's not the way it works. The more passive I am towards the thoughts I have and the beliefs that I hold as my own identity, that give me a sense of gratification, the more willing I am to let those go, the more profound my life will be. You'll start being very accepting. You'll find everything acceptable in your life, everything, from this beautiful scenery to whatever is going on in your life. Everything is doing exactly what it needs to be doing at the time it's doing it. And if you understand that it's all about love, not punishment, not reward, it's all about learning intuitively how to follow that path to yourself, then you have a deep appreciation for your life. And you're going to find meaning in everything you do. Chop wood, carry water, as I like to tell my students. What does that mean? Everything you do, everything is significant. Whether you're chopping wood or you're carrying water, no matter how trivial a task may seem to be, chop wood, carry water. Everything is touched by love. Everything is touched by life itself. Never limit your life down to the nubs because you want to emotionally have some kind of feeling and connection with hate and fear. I was just with some people, some foreigners from another land, and I asked them, I said, could we come and visit you? We were joking around with them. And they said, well, wait a minute. What do you believe in? And I said, well, what do you mean, what do I believe in? They said, well, if you're a Christian, yeah, you could come to our house, but if you're not, I don't want you in my house. What is that? Where's the tolerance in that? Where's the compassion in that? You see, beliefs are what separate us from each other. More importantly, it is a belief that separates us from ourselves and the very life that lives within us. Don't segregate yourself. Come closer to love. Drop passion and emotion. The feel of your life is about one thing, my dear friend. It is about love. Emotions are about hate. Emotions are about like and dislike. Emotions are about passionate beliefs. So what you believe passionately in something? Do you honestly think it makes it true? Look at these trees. Do you think they passionately agree with you? Do you think they care? Do you think the ocean cares, the moon, the stars care about what you believe in about them? Hardly. It doesn't diminish their beauty or their place in this life, in this universe. They're there because they're there. And if I am able to accept them as they are, I'm not dummied down by my emotions and my passions. I haven't become skeptical and narrow-minded. I find that every living thing brings me to myself. Every living thing brings me back around to the oneness of my life. This is a magnificent place that we live in, and it's based in one thing: life. We know not what we do when we give up our life for a belief and an idea.
When you practice meditation, you're always aware of your breath. And I find that out in the world, when something is coming at me, I automatically go now to that center and breathe through it. When you practice meditation, you just automatically go into that breath period, and who knows what I would have been like in that situation if I didn't.
Well, I always get this kind of email, and I would love to share this with you. He asked me, and this is a gentleman from San Diego, do I think I'm being responsible by the way I'm giving you these teachings in this program? You know, being responsible, I don't really know what that means to you. I think it's different for every human being. But yeah, I think it's very important that this program be on the air. It's very responsible because it's outside the box. How many people are going to shoot you straight, so to speak, and tell you, look, you're going nowhere rearranging your thoughts, taking one thought, replacing another one, or adopting philosophies? Anyone can do that. That's just a cheap trick. What I'm trying to tell you is to be responsible to your life is to come into responsibility with your relationship with yourself. And what could be more responsible than that? Most people I know live irresponsible lives. They just merely go through their day. They have no consideration for the beauty of the day, the moment that they live in, the opportunity of life and love in them. They're just so busy trying to get everything they want into one moment, into everything they believe in, and contorting things both politically, socially, and religiously, that they have no sense of who they are or what they're even doing in their life. To me, living responsibly is being true to the higher self in me, the authentic self. Being true to meditation, being true to my silence, being able to forgive and love, see what I've done that has hurt me, and then make the choice to no longer do that. I don't know of any other TV program on the air that offers you this. Maybe there are some, but to me, the most responsible thing I can do is share with you what is going on inside of me. Emotion and passion. There are those motivational speakers who want to use you to milk out of you as much as they can, and it usually means money, to get you all passionate about the idea that you can have a better life than the one you're having right now. Isn't that sad? You mean to tell me that you're not grateful for whatever life you have? And if it isn't what you want it to be, you know, all you have to do is change on the inside. Let go of some of your violence, some of your pain, some of your hurt, some of your sorrow. Maybe forgive a little bit. Realize, I know not what I do, and many things change. I thought the little lady that I talked about in this particular program was very interesting. You know, we could have been friends. She could have invited me to be with her. I could have maybe understood their culture a little bit better. But you know what's interesting? Because I'm not her religion, I'm not invited. Isn't that interesting how religion, philosophy, politics divide us? Does it ever dawn on us as humankind that the passion and the emotion that we hold for these things is the very problem of our life? Religion and politics get involved, and before you know it, you have a cause, a crusade, something to kill for. Onward, Christian soldiers marching as to war. I have a hard time with that. I really do. I don't think it has anything to do with life and love, and I don't think that Jesus would have wanted that either, but who am I to say? I don't know the man. Of course, Christians all do, so what am I to say? I am merely suggesting dropping the whole idea of conflict emotionally and passionately, and begin to come into a moment where you find surrender. meekness, humility to be more important than anything else in your life. I learned a lot on this program for myself, doing it and even watching it with you just a few moments ago. I think it's very interesting how we can be manipulated emotionally, sympathetically, and with hatred to do anything somebody who is stronger-willed than we are to do. We can actually be manipulated by those who want to use us violently to do the things they want us to do. And all they have to do is say, your good is threatened. Hitler had a great idea about it. He said, all you have to do is repeat an untruth enough times and it will seem like the truth to the masses. He was right. He really was. Live consciously this week, dear friend. Don't live from your violence. Let love live you, as I always like to say, and you will start to find deep and significant meaning in every moment of your life. I hope you enjoyed our program. Please forgive me, won't you? Namaste. So, Master Dow. Why'd you do that? I didn't do anything.
Well, why should I wait?
Hey, Vay. Master, what is myself?
Now, what would you want with a self?
I could do something with it.
Aren't you enough? I know I'm had enough of you.
Hello? Yes? Oh my God. It's God. Yes, God. You want to talk to Greg? He wants to talk to you, Greg.
Can't you see I'm busy right now? Just tell him I'll get back to him.
Dude, that was just one more shot. You shooting them what they're shooting, and
He says he'll get back to you, God. You said what? Oh, really? He said if you don't talk to him now, he's going to take you.
Oh, strike me dead.
Okay. I think he's going to.
Oh, get back to him later. Take a hike.
without any of that there, we're going to try to get them and you and what they're shooting all together at once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's try that again.
Go on, go
I
on.
think he's going to strike you dead, Greg.
No, he is not.
Way to go, God.
You know, I can't work with this crew. They're rude, they're lewd, and they're crude. And it just offends me so deeply, the thought that I have to work with such foul-mouthed people. In my Christian-based heart, I feel this is just not necessary.
Some people think I'm the dummy, but the more you watch Aspire, the more you know who the real dummy is, huh?